Pleased to welcome Natalie and Javier, who are our physical education teachers, and they will have a chance to share a little bit about themselves, the goals of the program, and give some examples as well. So I'll hand it over to Javier and Natalie.
Awesome. Thank you, Ted. And hi, everybody out there. We are going to share here a little presentation and tell you all about the physical education program at Catlin Gable School in the middle school. So I do hope you can see that. And I think, Javier, you're going to start first.
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing okay. What a pleasure to be here with you all today. My name is Javier Duque. I'm one of the middle school PE teachers. I work together with Natalie, and we have the privilege and the lucky opportunity to teach all grades together. I'm original from Ecuador, Ibarra, Ecuador, a little town. I moved here to the United States in 2012, and I've been working in Catlin for about 7 years as a full-time PE teacher. I'm also a coach. I've been coaching in Catlin for 8 years. I coached the 3 seasons, soccer, basketball, and track and field. And I love working with middle schoolers, as you can see over here. I have my lovely wife and my daughter, my beautiful daughter, who are with me in the picture.
Awesome. Thanks, Javier. And my name is Natalie Dickinson, and that's me over there on the right of your screen with my family. That's my husband on the left, my daughter right there in the middle, who's almost 4.5, and my son on the right, who just turned 1 a few days ago. And I have been teaching at Catlin for 8 years now. And I was born and raised in Portland, Oregon. And I just love kind of everything about being physically active and what it does to enhance our lives, as well as working with middle schoolers, like Javier said, is just such a fun opportunity. It's such an age that is kind of cool to watch them grow up. And we feel really lucky that we get to be a part of their lives and at Catlin Gable, which is a wonderful place to be. So that is us. And now we're going to tell you a little bit about our program. But first, whoopsies, I went too far. One thing that we're doing in the remote learning environment right now is spinning this wheel of fitness. So if you are watching live or even on the recording, we're gonna spin this wheel and invite you to participate with us. So as you can see on the right of your screen here, it's populated with some exercises and activities that I've highlighted in blue there. A kid favorite, the lucky pass, or a free shot, meaning you don't have to do anything, but we're gonna give it a little spin and the wheel is gonna decide our fate for this moment. So, 30 squats, if you are willing to get up and do 30 squats, we'll do them all with you and we'll count them off together. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2,
Good work,
3,
everyone.
4,
Keep it up.
5,
We got this.
6, 7,
Thank you for doing it with us.
9, 10, 11. Maybe your pace is different. 12. That's okay. 13, 14, 15, 16. We're more than halfway. 17, 18. Make sure you have good form. 19, 20. Keep your back straight. 21, 22, 23. Sit back.
We love it.
We're almost there. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Fabulous work. Give yourself a pat on the back if you joined us with that. And thank you for a little bit of movement. Hopefully your heart is pumping and now you're going to be better able to focus, hopefully. So in the middle school, like Javier said, we have the wonderful opportunity to be able to teach 6th, 7th, and 8th grade classes. And we actually co-teach all of the classes together. Our program is set up that way. I'm a little bit out of breath. So it's a 3-year program, just designed developmentally. Each grade kind of progresses at its own level based on the age of our students. And one of our big goals is by the end of 8th grade for our students to walk away with, a handful of activities that they feel confident and joyful doing, to be physically active and to stay healthy for the rest of their lives, or to enter into high school with some activity maybe that they, didn't know that they were going to enjoy when they started in 6th grade. We focus a lot also on teamwork, cooperation, collaboration, and kind of what it means to be a team player, and how each student's individual presence makes a huge impact for the group. And we also really hope that our students leave our program feeling confident and like they're able to take on hard challenges. So, do you want to add anything, Javier, to that?
Yeah, no, you said beautifully, and I would like to add that we always encourage the kids to have this healthy habit, right, of physical activity, I love physical activity for the fact that you build relationship with new people when you go to the gym or when you go to the park, and it's just a beautiful opportunity to be healthy and have fun to be able to do that.
Great, thank you. And here we go. Oopsies, one too far. Okay, great.
Yeah, so as you can see here in this slide, we do have our goals for our class. And of course, we always want to provide a great learning experience and good, safe environment for our students. We develop like different staff and during our class. And as Natalie was mentioned before, we always encourage our kids to work a little bit of their comfort zone as a learning experience, as a learning environment. We want to provide these opportunities for them to teach them that those lifelong skills, and they will be able to use later on in life. The knowledge that they need to have in order to move on to upper school, to like provide this moment of okay, I need the exercise. I need the exercise form, and I know because I learned that in the middle of school. But more important and most important than anything, to have fun, to learn how to move with their bodies and to feel comfortable and to do what they enjoy the most, whether it's a yoga video, whether it's a little workout or a sport.
Great. Thank you. And our next one, we're going to talk a little bit about our curriculum or our units. And we shared here, as you'll see in this slide and the next one, how it looks when we've been on campus typically, and then also what we're doing this year so far. I think Javier, you're going to talk a little more about this.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when we're on campus, we focus in a little bit of the sport units. We teach the basics. We also like focusing a little bit about physical challenges. As you can see, like a little bit of push-ups, plank, running. We do a little bit of dance and yoga and aerobics as well. So these are like traditional sports, the ones that you see almost in the middle over here. And kids normally see the benefit of doing these because we kind of like do offer the same sports after school for the middle school, as I mentioned before, soccer and then basketball and track and field. So it's kind of like a good learning environment, a good safe way for them to be learning these during the school day and then go after school to keep practicing what they have learned during PE as well.
Wonderful. And then the next one, we'll talk a little bit about in the remote setting. Did you want to talk about this one too, Javier? And I'll take the next one. Great.
And yeah. This is actually really fun because due to the circumstances of remote learning, we have been like changing our program a little bit, and we have been like planning a little differently, and we have been focusing more in non-traditional sports. And offering new activities for kids, a little bit more dance, a little more aerobics, a little more yoga, skills such as juggling, coordination, agility. We start our classes actually with a little bit of mindfulness, with a little bit of like the wheel, then we just spin, right? We also are providing a little bit of off-screen opportunities for kids because we understand that needs a lot of screen time these days with remote learning. So what we are providing are opportunities for them to be physically active, to have that ownership, and to learn the value of physical activity, not necessarily being in front of the screen. And then, yeah, we do a little bit of fitness bingo. And what that means is that we send this little sheet with opportunities for them to do it after school. And it's super fun for them. And I truly enjoy it. I don't know, Natalie, if you would like to add anything.
No, I think that pretty much sums up. Yeah, we're kind of always trying to evolve in different ways. I mean, some of the traditional sports definitely our students have a lot of fun with, but we try to bring in new games every year, maybe different dances or things. And are open to, a couple years ago, we had students lead classes and share activities that they were passionate about. We have had parents come in and play with us, and that's been a lot of fun. So maybe we'll see you one day playing with us, hopefully.
Yeah.
And yeah, that sounds good. And we'll go on to the next one. In these units, so sports specific and also then the fitness ones, you know, we're talking obviously about some basics of things, skills and just kind of basic fundamentals that students are going to need to feel really successful and to feel confident participating. But then I did mention this earlier, you know, we really are constantly kind of teaching the teamwork skills and communication and collaboration and what does it mean to be part of a team and how you can always be a team player, even if maybe you feel like your physical skill isn't yet or is still developing, you know, because we have a range of abilities in our classes and we kind of just try to teach, you know, to all abilities, encourage students with maybe more athletic ability to help out those that are still developing. Definitely encourage those that might be on the a little bit like, I don't want to say shy, but maybe quieter side or a little bit resistant to jump in. You know, one of our goals for our students is to try to take risks, step outside their comfort zone. And so I feel like we're constantly kind of coaching and encouraging and finding ways for all students to feel like they're part of the team and part of the group. And in the fitness challenges, you know, we're talking about goal setting. Even in this remote setting now, we're doing some of those personal best challenges and having students look at, you know, where they're at now and then where they could be and what do they need to do to get there. So that is that piece. Yeah, success in PE, you know, these are just some adjectives here. Again, the teamwork piece, you know, what does it mean to be resilient and definitely willing to try new things, because for some folks being in a physical education class is pretty uncomfortable, and we recognize that. And so we just gently encourage everybody to just try their best wherever they're at, and definitely being prepared, kind of some basic, you know, good life skills, showing up on time, having your materials or your gear ready, and just a willingness to try. Do you want to add anything to that, Javier?
Yeah, I was saying before about our units, and I think it comes to this success in PE. Sometimes we allow the kids to have that opportunity to bring parents to the activity, and in terms of the dance, I forgot to mention, sometimes I teach salsa, bachata, and merengue, and we invite parents to come to join us, and we have a great time dancing together and having that amazing opportunity to see what your kids are learning. So that piece of what Natalie said, like being prepared for class, is huge for middle schoolers, and we understand that process is sometimes takes a little longer than what we normally expect, but our goal is to help the kids to go through. So it's very important for us.
Yeah, and I just was looking at that creative piece, and it made me think of, you know, what we've done in past years and are even trying to implement here in the remote setting this year is some having students create workouts or dances or games or different activities that then they're able to bring to the group. So kind of looking at teamwork and collaboration, not just in the actual team sports setting, but also in the group work setting, and how can we bring our ideas together and create something that is really fun for our peers and also, you know, meets some of the requirements for keeping us moving, physically active, getting our heart rates going. And that's been a lot of fun to see what our students are able to create. They're pretty amazing. They are always amazing.
Really,
and thank you for being here. We really truly appreciate your time. And we're curious what questions you might have.
And Natalie and Javier, would you like me to moderate the questions, or do you want to?
Thanks, Mary. I think we're happy to. Are they just going to show up in the chat here on the right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the first one I see, it says welcome. Oh, that's Chris saying welcome. Okay. Ted, for each of you, what makes Catlin Gable a special place? Oh, goodness. Do you want to start, Javier? Or do you want me to start? I say, oh goodness, in a good way. It's a really special place. Yeah.
Yeah, it truly is. It feels like family, to be quite honest. When I moved here the first time, I didn't know what to expect. I came from public education from Ecuador to a private school here, a progressive school. And what makes it special is how welcoming everybody is. And everybody right away, like, start introducing themselves to me and say, "Hey, where are you from? And how are you doing? And how much are you liking your new job?" So those things are really important, especially when you're new to in a community. So I personally have to say that it's just a beautiful environment.
Yeah, I would agree. The community, both the teacher community, the family community, the staff community, everybody is a teacher. I feel like at Catlin Gable, we have incredible people that work in facilities and the grounds crew, and they're part of educating all of our students. And then I would be amiss, I guess, to not mention the fact that we have just incredible resources and support at our fingertips as teachers. So if Javier and I have an idea about a way that we want to improve our program and get kids moving in a different way, the answer has typically always been yes. And we've been supported to try new things and get a little bit innovative. And so that's a pleasure to be a teacher in a place that wants you to try new stuff and then supports you with all the resources that we would need to do those things. Okay, the next question. So many schools have cut PE programs. How often do middle school students have PE each week? Yes, great question. So I guess I can speak about, or we can speak about both. Right now in the remote schedule setting, we have a Monday through Friday schedule, and PE, and this is true for also in our on-campus schedule, but PE meets the same amount of time as all the other subjects and classes do in the middle school. So right now we see every single class 3 days a week. One of those classes is for 45 minutes and the other 2 is for 60 minutes. And then so during on campus, we, in the past at least, have had this 7-day kind of rotating schedule. And so we would see students 4 times out of that 7-day schedule for either a 45-minute class or a 75-minute class. And we're really lucky that we get to see them as much as other classes.
I see a different question. It says, what are some ways you get the students who are not as excited about PE as other students to fully participate? And I will have to say that we have a program that is very flexible in terms of our planning. And Natalie and I, we love hearing our students when they come with new ideas. We receive those ideas in such a open way. And we're always offering more than one activity, right? For those students who don't feel comfortable, whether it's a little bit of soccer, we offer a little bit of a workout, a little bit of a little bit of basketball, a little bit of volleyball. So we're always open for feedback coming from kids and parents. And I think that is what makes our program successful as has been so far. So that is how we try to motivate the kids to stay active and say, hey, listen, we have different activities for you. And we're going to help you to go through that process to find the success that you need to find and to stay motivated. And we always also, when we are on campus, we play music, and that works really well.
I would also say to that question, and thanks, Javier, for catching it. I missed it as it scrolled through. We try, I think, like all of the teachers, I would say probably across the board at Catlin Gable, we try to get to know our students pretty well. And again, Javier and I have the luxury of teaching them all 3 years. And so we might see a 6th grader come in, whether it was from our elementary or a different elementary, maybe a little bit reserved, a little bit hesitant to engage and play. And then by the time they leave 8th grade, for the most part, it is so remarkable to see the confidence they've gained, the transition they've made. And so I think we have the luxury again of maybe being able to be a little bit patient, because we're trying to see kind of them evolve in 3 years. And So we get to try to get to know them and think about, okay, what would get you excited about being active and physically active?
Hmm.
So that is that.
There-
Okay, and I see another one. It says, oh yeah, what kind of sports do we play in the middle school? And Javier can definitely, I mean, we could both speak to it, but he's currently coaching. So you want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know if the question is more related to after school, but just in case if this question is also related to PE, we do offer traditional sports in the middle school like basketball, soccer, volleyball, a little bit of team handball, badminton, tennis sports as well, right? In terms of after school, we do offer for middle school students, well, it's soccer, tennis, volleyball, basketball, track and field, but we do not offer gymnastics or swimming for the middle school. I know swimming is a sport that we offer for the upper school, but yeah, hopefully that answered the question. But Natalie, I don't know if you would like to add anything about.
It looks like the person also added during school. So I am gonna guess that they're asking about what we're doing in our classes. And so Javier mentioned this, and it was, if you're able to watch the recording of this later, it was in the slides, but we do play and have units in PE in our program for volleyball, basketball, soccer, badminton, tennis, pickleball, different racket sports. We play team handball, and then we play a lot of cooperative games, which is very fun. I see another one there. It says, do you incorporate meditation, yoga, stress relief practices into your program? Yes, absolutely, especially more in this year for sure. And then been trying to incorporate it more in the last couple years. So yes to that one.
And I do have to say that we have like weight room space and right next to the gym where the kids go watch some video, to do some yoga, to do some relaxation, meditation. And we're just lucky to have a beautiful campus, beautiful facilities that provide good learning experiences for kids.
Great. Yeah. The next one I saw pop up there is there overlap with a health curriculum? And currently in the middle school, there is a health class that's taught separately from physical education from our program. And that's also a 3-year program, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, with a variety of subjects and units. And so while that's a separate piece as far as like a class and a curriculum, Javier and I are definitely incorporating different aspects of health and overall wellness into our program. Almost it feels like on a daily basis, even though we aren't considered a health class. We're more of a physical education and a wellness class. And yeah, I don't know if you want to say any more about that piece, Javier, but
No, I think you said it nicely. Thank you. I don't see any other questions, but if you have any, please feel free to share with us. We will be happy to address them.
if you are watching and you do come to Catlin, we really would love you to come play with us sometime or dance with us or participate. And oh, what a good question. Do we mix 6th, 7th, and 8th graders in any of the activities? During the school day, the classes typically don't mix grade levels as far as physical education goes, but the after school athletics program definitely does mix grade levels up.
Yeah, and the next one is a great question. How many students are in a typical PE class? I do have to say that our biggest class now probably is about 37, 38 kids. And the shortest class probably is about 26 kids. The beauty of this, though, I know the numbers seem a little high, but the beauty of this is that Natalie and I, we're always teaching together. We have, so for a class of 36, 37 kids, we have 2 teachers. And it works pretty well, especially when we're on campus. We have this beautiful field outside of the gym, and we have like 2 or 3 gyms right next to each other where we like sometimes create options for students, and they can stay in one place for option 1 and they can stay in the other place for option 2. So it works pretty well. I don't know, Natalie, if you would like to add.
Agreed. No, I'm gonna say the same thing. Great questions.
Mhm.
How are we doing, Mary?
Mary, you're muted. Sorry. I thought
Sorry,
It's
you're doing
okay.
great. Did you see the question? Can you talk about how your teaching of PE has changed over the years?
Great question. Yes, we can. And so technically I'm going into my 10th year, but I took 2 maternity years. So I'm 8 years of teaching. So 10 years ago, when I started, things looked very different and they have evolved. And Javier and I guess you might be wondering how did they look different. When I showed up 10 years ago in the physical education program, we were splitting sometimes. By a girl boy gender. We would some playing pretty traditional sports the whole year. We still played a little bit of dodgeball. I know that some people love dodgeball, but we were doing that, and I feel like we've incorporated or tried to sometimes more lifelong accessible sports. The last few years when we've played pickleball, it's been such a hit. And I remember the first year when we introduced it and some of these kids had never heard of it. And, by the end of the year, it was definitely a fan favorite. And yeah, with the dance and the yoga and some of a little bit more, I guess, well-rounded, trying to have our students leave with a slew of kind of activities that they can pull from. I think that that's how we're kind of evolving. And Javier and I try to keep thinking of different things, checking in with our student body about, what they get excited about to move and to play. And so we kind of are still blending, right? As you saw, we still play basketball and volleyball and soccer, and those tend to be big hits as well, but also trying to incorporate other activities that are not just kind of sports specific. What else, Javier, would you say to that?
You said it nicely. I would like to add that these days we are very intentional with our teaching in terms of like including everyone into the activity and allowing everybody to have a good learning experience with a safe learning environment. When we split in groups, we are always thinking about ways how can we improve it every time. And we try many different things, right? We definitely are big fans of trying new things. So that is, I believe, what makes this program strong and successful as it is, for the fact that we are always thinking about like how can we improve it.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
We just have a couple minutes left. I'm wondering, oh, there's another question. Is there special coaching for any of the sports that Natalie and Javier provide, or is it general PE?
Yeah, there is 2 answers for that, and we do definitely like teach these basic skills during our PE program, doing traditional sports, and we focus like perhaps let's say we're talking about volleyball, we teach them the process of how bumping and setting goes, and we let them practice, and then after they practice and they have the knowledge of the skill, we introduce a little game there. So it's not just the boring practice of like the skill, but also like combine that with a fun game, right? And then in terms of like after school, we do focus a lot about our coaching when they are in a part of a sport after school. We focus not just in letting them play, but also like to teach them the proper way to kick the ball if it's soccer, the proper way to like bump and set and doing volleyball and all of those things. I don't know, Natalie, if you would like to add anything about,
Oh, I think that sounded great. And then I see this last, or at least for now, question. Middle school sports are no cut. So everybody can play. I mean, the same is true in our upper school, but in middle school, everybody's invited to play.
And I just want to mention to those listening that in 2 weeks, on October 28th, we are hosting a Zoom session that will talk about some extracurricular clubs and activities, as well as middle school sports. So if you have additional questions about our middle school sports teams, that would be a great session to attend.
All right. Well, thank you, Natalie and Javier.
Yeah, thank you all. Enjoy the
pleasure.
rest of the evening or
Pleasure.
time. Thanks.
And something to highlight from their presentation is just great again to see how everything is goal and objective kind of driven, that they have a bigger picture that they are thinking about as they plan these experiences and these activities for our students.